So welcome back. The studio chapter that we just watched was supposed to be an extra, so I didn't want to spend too much time talking about the small details because after all this is a stock course, but hopefully it will have helped you with how to shoot subjects isolated on a background, so isolated on white in case. I also didn't shoot as many images as I would have normally, as I was focusing more on explaining how to isolate images than shooting to sell. So we don't have as many images to work with than I would normally have after a studio shoot. So I would shoot much more to make sure that my money is coming back. Now the studio shoot was a commercial one, of course. So we were shooting a model, meaning that we need a model release. Remember not to leave the shoot without a signed model release because there's a possibility you'll never get it, so the model might not sign it afterwards. The next stage before I submit my images is to select the images that I want to upload. So I won't upload the whole thing. But before we do that, I just thought I would share a tip on how to organize your files in case you don't have a system in place yet. When you are a stock photographer, you'll be taking hundreds of images because stock photography is as much a numbers game as a quality one. If you're not organized, your files will be scattered around your hard drive and you won't be able to locate them very easily again. One of the reasons why you might want to locate them again is to be able to upload your work or your past work to a new agency, so your portfolio is not lost. So how do you keep them organized? If you don't have a system in place, I suggest that you do the following. Name a folder with the year, month, day all together, and then underscore a reference text, and that's going to keep your folders organized chronologically. And the files, you can name them year, month, date, underscore, reference text, underscore counter. But if you shoot with more than one camera, make sure that both cameras have the right date and time. And I recommend you do the following. Year, month, day, underscore, reference text, underscore, hour, underscore, minutes, underscore, seconds. By using this system, your folders and files will be presented chronologically in your computer. And also you have the reference text to what the shoot was. So it's a lot faster to use this system than to having to open every single file and preview them. By the way, you can save these import settings in Capture One as well as in Lightroom. So let me show you how to do this now. So I'm here on Capture One, and at the moment I have a catalog open. Capture One works with either catalogs or sessions, and the main difference is that in catalogs all your images are going to be kept within the same library as I have at the moment. The other way to work with images in Capture One is to have sessions instead. And the main difference is that in sessions you keep your images better organized in different folders. So let's go ahead and create a new session. So into File, New Session. And Capture One asks me what to name it. So let's use the same naming system we've just seen. So year 2016, when I took the pictures, 03, so March the 25th, underscore, reference text, stock photo class. And that's going to be created within my pictures folder, which I'm happy with. Now, additionally, Capture One is going to create 4 subfolders as well. So Capture, Selects, Output, and Trash. The imports are going to be kept within the Capture folder. I can select that, of course, but I prefer to keep it as standard. And that's the Capture name as I named it just now. So let's hit OK. And now Capture One will present me with, there you go, with an empty screen as expected. But now I see that I'm within my newly created session. So I have year, month, day, underscore, reference text, dot, Capture One session database. So that's the extension that Capture One uses to identify its sessions. Next, I need to import my picture. So I just click on this arrow here. And I just need to tell Capture One where my pictures are. In this case, I know they are here. And I just click open. Now, but the thumbnails are going to be populated here. There you go. Make them smaller as well. So those are all our studio shoot images. And then I have to tell Capture One what to name them. That's the whole point of this class. As you can see, this is the folder where my pictures are. And then I'm telling Capture One where to import the files to. In this case, I want to import them to the Capture folder I just showed you. And that's the path if I need to check. That's how much space I have left in my hard drive. If I want to back this up to another folder, I can as well in this selection here, this tab. But in this case, I won't be checking that. Naming, that's what we are concerned with. I'll come back to this in a moment. Metadata, I like keeping my copyright there. Now image banks who use their own formatting for copyright, remember you keep your copyrights, but they have their own format to do that, so that's going to be embedded in your file, and probably this copyright notice is going to be ripped off my file, but I like leaving it there anyway. The adjustments here, I won't be using any standardized adjustments to all of my images, so I'll work on them individually, so I don't want to apply any adjustments during import. Then file info here, just in case I need to know any information about the files. I just click on them, and Capture One shows me the name of the file. As you can see, I have already renamed them, but I'll do it again just to show you. Then the date when they were taken, and the camera, and also the size. So let's go ahead and talk a little more about the naming tab, which is just here. Now, if I want to create, of course, I can just simply kind of, give whatever name I want to my files like that, but that's going to be quite bad. So what I want to do is keep it more organized. So just click on this button here, the three dots, the reticences, and then I can create a naming structure based on the EXIF data from my files. So embedded onto your file is going to be the date in which you created it, and the time and so on. So the first thing I want to do, Capture One has already a few presets such as image date here, and it gives me a few options, and this is the closest to what I want to get to. So year, month, day, hour, minute, seconds. The only problem is that I don't actually like the hyphens between the year and the month and the day here, and also I want a descriptive text in between the day and the hour. So it's just not the way that I name things, but if this works for you, by all means use that. So the first thing I'll do is choose the image year with 4 digits, that's the way I do it. Drag it there to the format area. So you see that token has been applied there. Next, I want the image month, which is here, so just drag it. And then the image day of the month, which is here. Then underscore job name. So why job name? This is not embedded onto your file, but job name is the name of the field here in the other window, you see, the window underneath this one. So if I put whatever text under that job name field, that's going to be populated onto my preset. So just leave that there, I'll show you how that works in a moment. Underscore, now I need the time. So I have the image time here, token, and then I have a preset already. So hour, month, or hour, minute, second. So just drag and drop that there. There you go. So that's my preset now. And the other thing I want to do, and I'm only using the hour, minute, and second because I usually use 2 cameras. If you don't use 2 cameras, you can simply get rid of that and use a counter instead. So right at the top you have 1 digit, 2 digits, or 3 digits counter. So you can select that and drag and drop to there. It's going to be a preset. But because I cover events sometimes and I use 2 cameras, so I used instead the hour, minute, and second, because then both cameras, as long as they are synchronized, they have the same time and so on, they will be the files will be presented to me chronologically after I rename them. So let's go ahead and save this preset. So I just come here to the preset, drop down list, save user preset. Let's save that as stock photo class. And of course it should be more descriptive than I am being here. So you should really say, year, month, day, underscore caption, or job name, underscore minute. But I have already saved a preset under that name, so I don't want to overlap that. So I'll just create a new one here, stock photo class. So next time I want to come back to this naming. So I'll just show you what it would, so if I click on any of the images here, Capture One gives me a sample of what the image is going to be renamed to. In this case, you see I have untitled job there in the middle. That's because I have entered nothing in my job name field. But as I enter that, so stock photo class, that preview, the sample here, gets updated as well. And that's what that one file is going to be called if I leave it like that. So it's picking up the year, month, day, underscore. This reference text is job name that I input just now here. And then underscore is reading the hour, minute, and second from the file. I don't need to enter that manually, of course. So I'm happy with that. If I need to come back to this formatting, I just click on that button again. You see that's my stock photo class there. I have other presets. So that's what I would name it if I were you, because that tells me exactly what the tokens are. So year, month, day, underscore job name, underscore hour, hyphen, minute, hyphen, second. so I don't need that now, but just if in case I want to come back to this preset later. Let's go ahead now and import all of my images. So I have 137 of them. Let's click import, and now Capture One is just processing them. As you can see, it's quite fast to import. It takes a bit longer to generate the previews. I like waiting for all the previews to be ready before I start working, because that way when I zoom in and so on, they're kind of ready. I don't need to wait for them to render in each individual image that I open. Once this is done, we'll come back to this and make a selection, but before that I want to show you how to do the same in Lightroom, which many of you will use. Let's go ahead, open Lightroom, and then Lightroom uses a catalog, so just create a catalog with the same system that I mentioned before. I actually put all my files in the pictures folder in my Mac. So 2016 03, today is 30th, stock, course, studio, shoot. All right. Now, as usual, Lightroom will just get me a library that's empty at the moment because I haven't imported anything yet. And I'll go ahead and import photos and videos. I don't actually use Lightroom anymore, so I'm not as fluent as I am in Capture One. So just locate my desktop, which is where my source files are, and then I'll see stock, shoot, and those are my files. Okay. So Lightroom also adds, or let's move this to a new location as well. Lightroom will suggest already a place for it, so pictures, and then suggests already a folder name. It's alright if you prefer to use Lightroom instead of Capture One, so it just gives you the year, month, date, that's all read from your files. So I'm just going to stick to that just for the sake of demonstration. And let's go ahead and create the custom rename files. I have my presets as well, but let's create a new one. So just click on template and go to edit, and then I'll create a new file. In fact, I have the same thing as I had in Capture One here. It's just a simpler version of the import file. So if I didn't have anything here, I'll select date of the file, so year, month, day, insert. Then I'll have an underscore, and I'll have custom text here, and then I'll have my 3 digits counter, or sequence it's called here, insert. You can make your own version of this, but I find this very useful because of the chronological ordering. And once I'm ready with this, I can simply save current settings as new preset. Lightroom asks me what do you want to save it as, and I'll say stock, course, import, and create. Now each time I import, so that's done, and let's import these files here. I'm not adding any keywords or anything at the moment, so I don't want to apply anything to import. Destination, that's alright, we just discussed that already, so Lightroom is going to place that in a proper folder, and I don't want to build any previews apart from minimum at the moment. So just go ahead and import that. As the files are imported, they are renamed automatically, so you'll be able to see these files here in a moment. If I zoom this in, and that's the name of my file there, untitled. In fact, I forgot to mention to include the custom description, but that's why Lightroom rather assigned untitled to it. So let's just change that. In fact, the other thing about if you make a mistake while importing the files, you can rename them afterwards by selecting them all, coming to library, rename photos, as in battery name, file name, and then I can just select that again and select another custom text. So let's just stock, photo, studio, shoot, and start number 001, and then OK. So now files should be properly named, as you can see. So it just works really nicely. Cool. So now that we have imported our files, let's go ahead and do some editing.